Hello, this is Zahir Alam. Welcome you all on Frankly Speaking. My guest today is Julian Francis. He is one of the many foreigners who have been honored by the government of Bangladesh and extended Friends of Liberation War honor for the work and outstanding contribution in 1971. Julian is among 132 foreign nationals, including Senator Edward Kennedy, Mother Teresa, Indira Gandhi, Sir Edward Heath, Lord Harold Wilson, and George Harrison, who have been named to be honored by the Bangladesh government. Julian coordinated Oxfam's relief operation in 1971, which provided assistance for up to 6 lakh Bangladeshis in refugee camps in the border areas of India. Those were in over 50 refugee camps in Tripura, Meghalaya, Assam, Coach Bihar, and different parts of West Bengal. He was among the 60 distinguished people who signed the joint statement, a testimony of 60 in 1971, which was sent to the heads of state seeking their interventions against the atrocities committed by Pakistani troops. We are joined by Julian Francis today on Frankly Speaking. Hello. Thank you very much for joining us on my show.
My pleasure.
Today.
Thank you.
Julian Francis, possibly you're the unique person, unique friends of one of the friends of Bangladesh who is still living in Bangladesh and connected your journey, which began in 1971, and in 2017 you're still living in our country. So how does it feel?
Well, it is quite a remarkable feeling and a remarkable story, really, because I didn't know even when I was working with the refugees in 1971 that I would have such a long association with Bangladesh. I first came to India when I was 22, and now I'm 50 years on. No, it has been in a way a lifelong journey so far.
So, but why do you love Bangladesh so much?
Well, I suppose it's the people mainly, but also they're remarkably not only friendly and hospitable, but they're extremely hard work.
Can you shed some light on the days during the the 71 period, how the refugee have been flux in India in different refugee camp, and how you have been started working to give shelter and succor to the thousands of refugees over there?
Well, of course, it took quite a long time for us in India to realize the enormity of the impending problem and how many people might come from Bangladesh. But so it took a bit of time to really accept the fact that at one border crossing 30 or 40,000 people a day were coming. So how the Indian government and the West Bengal government and other state governments were able to quickly organize refugee camps, it was quite remarkable, but they needed supplementary assistance.
And after the independence in 1971, when did you first come in Bangladesh?
I came about 10 days after Sheikh Mujib had returned. We came about the 20th or 21st of January 1972 and drove overland from Kolkata.
Can you share some of your memories in Bangladesh from when you first came here?
Well, the journey was traumatic because it was a very difficult journey because the roads were so full of people walking home, and there were lots of singing, there was a lot of crying or shouting Joy Bangla, so we were moving very slowly.
And total sign of devastation.
The devastation was tremendous in terms of burnt out villages and blown up bridges, culverts, sunken ferries and launches. Yes, that was devastating, and it made people, the refugees returning home, realize, well, will our house still be there? It may be burnt down. So they were there was a mixture of joy at coming home, but fear of what they might find.
And you met with the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
I did. I had a very interesting meeting with him, actually organized by Tajuddin, who I had met a couple of times in Calcutta.
Okay.
And Sheikh Mujib basically was asking me why did I come to see him, and I wanted some advice about what a small organization in those days, Oxfam, could do for the big problems in Bangladesh. And he pointed his pipe stem at me and asked me, "How did you come, young man?" And I explained how we had driven over land, and he said, "Well, you must have seen far more of my country than I have, because I have been locked up for the last 9 months. And so please tell me what you think we need." So then we were discussing, and as a result of that, Oxfam was able to help with not only house building, but with the purchase of 3 ferries, and at least 1 or 2 of them are still working at the Mawa.
Tell something about about your memories on the atrocities the Pakistani troops carried out on 25th of March, and later on, which prompted the Bangladesh government to initiate, term the 25th of March as World Genocide Day.
Well, of course, we saw a lot of refugees coming into India with bullet wounds and sometimes bayonet wounds or machete wounds. They hadn't died, but they were seriously hurt. Some of them died as a result. And then the eyewitness accounts, of course, were traumatic. So if you think, well, could it have been documented better and eyewitness accounts written down? Yes, of course it could have. But the stories, the accounts we heard were traumatic, and many families coming across, thousands at a time, they came across the border crossing with a blank look in their face, completely traumatized, shell-shocked, very, very traumatic, and that's it was very. I was pleased to play a small part in all the discussions and seminars that led to the declaration.
The Genocide Day. Genocide Day. Friend of Liberation War. Julian, you have long been involved with Bangladesh. You have seen the progresses we have made so far. So can you list out some of the remarkable, some of the significant progresses we have made over the years after independence?
The man-made food disaster in 1974, to recover from that and to develop agriculturally to become self-sufficient in food grains has been quite a remarkable achievement, and not just the farmers themselves, but the
country which experienced a famine-like situation once in the mid-70s.
That's right, and the plant breeders and the development of seeds now that can grow rice varieties that can grow in saline water as well as in drier land. So the development of all these varieties has been remarkable as well. And of course, later on, the development of the garment industry has been quite remarkable.
But there are so many challenges also we are experiencing or witnessing so far. In your view, what are the major challenges that Bangladesh have been facing?
I suppose depending on which industry you're in, you will see different challenges. But one of the things I've always been concerned about is why why successive governments have not invested more in the railways. If the railway network had been kept modernized and more efficient, then we wouldn't have the extraordinary and crippling traffic jams that exist, not just in Dhaka, of course, but on the highways. And although the highways are being modernized and so on, and high-speed trains are locally for Dhaka are being planned, but that's one of the big bottlenecks as far as I could see. I've always been saying when I've been asked to write about how Bangladesh has changed, and the progress has been remarkable, but it could have been even more remarkable if we had not had confrontational politics. And I mean, a very good government is improved by having a robust opposition in Parliament, and so that has been lacking for a long time, which is very saddening and disappointing.
It's a country of 160 million people. It's huge in a small country. So, do you think this huge population is a strength or a burden?
Well, I believe it's a strength. I think that's because the Bangladeshis are so hardworking, and yes, but it's just how to make use of the population in a more efficient way.
And you see the right kind of planning or programs to get the dividend of the huge population or demography.
Well, by and large, yes. But of course, there are so many challenges, not just facing Bangladesh in terms of the electronic world we are living in, and then what, you know, one worries about machines taking over people's jobs. That's not going to happen in Bangladesh, I think, for a long time. But still, one needs to be looking ahead to see what opportunities can be found.
Julian, what are the things which have impressed you most during your stay over the years in Bangladesh?
Oh gosh, well, the people, of course, and most of my friends are Bangladeshi, but the warmth, the friendliness, the hospitality, and the hard working, and also the desire when interacting that they seek knowledge from other people, from people who are not Bangladeshi themselves, but they're always seeking information about not different countries, about different aspects, different attitudes, and we discuss religion, and that's been very, very interesting.
Do you find the tolerance in the society, it's remarkable, it's impressive, or it's praiseworthy?
Yes, when I first came to live here in 1985, I would tell many people that the religious harmony, communal harmony, was far better here than in India at that time as well. But
it was in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Now, of course, with all the link to terrorism and all that sort of thing, one is wondering why people who are well educated from good families get involved in something like the Holy Bakery incident we saw last year. It's very difficult to understand. And then we have to ask questions about the education of those younger generation, the children, the teenagers. I mean, are they being influenced by the internet more than more than the teachers at school and more than their parents. So that's a great concern.
Do you have conviction that Bangladesh will overcome, Bangladesh will get over the difficulties they're facing right now?
Well, I'm optimistic, but some people think my optimism is a bit too much, but I've always been optimistic about the future for Bangladesh.
Let's have some glimpse on your working experience in different fields in Bangladesh. You first came in 1972, in January 1972. That was very brief stay here, but you started working since 1985 onward 1992 and worked for a Canadian organization. Then after you worked for different programs from DFID, child livelihood projects, and you are also working now with different organizations as consultant and many other things. So share some of your major areas of interest in Bangladesh where you focused, where you have been working on.
Well, it's been a great experience working with some of the NGOs, particularly that have grown and become leaders, as it were. But I think what was very educational was the being able to observe the development of, say, an organization like BRAC that had such a good research and an analysis of its own work, which was teaching them which way they should be going and so on. There are not many organizations that do that very well.
Okay.
And so some other...
In your view, why is that? Why some other organizations couldn't thrive like BRAC in Bangladesh?
Well, they're not... it's very difficult for many people to be self-critical, to see what mistakes I have made and so on. But so I think that's one of the things that, and BRAC has been very successful in keeping out of politics.
Where you want to see Bangladesh in the next 10, 20 years? There are so many visions, so many programs, so many.
Well, yeah.
focus.
I mean, one wants to see the poverty completely eliminated, but the last 10% will be the most difficult, and a lot of the people in that last 10% will have problems of disability. So that is the big challenge. But I believe that Bangladesh can overcome these challenges.
Thank you very much, Julian Francis.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Yeah, for a wonderful conversation. Dear viewers, that's all my conversation with Julian Francis, the Friends of Bangladesh. And as he said, Julian Francis said, he is always passionate about Bangladesh, and it is a very right to celebrate Bangladesh's remarkable development and successes and the progresses over the years. He mentioned a lot about the progresses we have made, but we must never forget the pain and the suffering that was invested into the foundation of this beautiful country, and we should not forget those days and the heroes of our liberation war, and also friends of our liberation war. Thank you very much for watching this program, and we invite you to watch our next episode. Until then, do take care and goodbye.